people buying Lunchables. A lot of people buying Lunchables. And you know what? We thought Lunchables, we can better that. We can make a better product that people can also afford and be happy to give to their kids.
I would be less offended if my mother handed me adoption papers over that sad excuse of a pizza. This is the exact equivalent of consuming that holographic meatloaf from SpongeBob. No nutritional value. You'd be better off licking pebbles off the sidewalk than eating this monstrosity. Alright, welcome back, ladies and ladies with dicks. Everybody watching is probably familiar with the Lunchables spin-off that's being operated by MrBeast, Logan Paul, and KSI called Lunchly, because they wanted to turn what's already nourishing trash into enriched garbage. Don't get it twisted though, I'm gonna say something that's gonna have all the swords pointed at my neck, but I still be slamming Lunchables at the age of 20. Grew up with them and still eat them on occasion whenever them 2 a.m. munchies hit or when I don't feel like making nothing. They come in clutch. However, it doesn't take an expert to see how overall unhealthy they are for you. I mean, name one athlete that ever came out and said they fuel up before the big game with Lunchables. Absolutely zero, because if they did, they would probably violently shit themselves before halftime. It's a widespread fact that it's all made up of processed junk and something you shouldn't consume on a regular basis. But that's when this trifling trio of YouTubers banded together to give us something we never asked or waited for, being the spin-off Lunchly. And saying spin-off is honestly a generous term because it's pretty much a carbon clone of Lunchables. They replicated that shit all the way down to a science. You could have at least tried to make it more different. The only thing I see just by peeping the cover is nothing. I mean, let me rub my eyes, lean closer, hell, even pull out a magnifying glass. They went cheese for cheese with this motherfucker, same pepperoni placement and all. So you guys might be asking what is the difference or why the hell grown men are beefing over Lunchables in the first place. Well, apparently it's because Logan Paul and the others are pushing the narrative that this is healthy food for kids and are making it seem innovative. The second coming of Christ in edible form. And in reality, it's just the modern version of World War II rations. Now, I'm about the furthest thing from being a nutritionist, so I watched a few videos, and one of the things I thought was hilarious was them comparing how much healthier they are over Lunchables by a whopping 80 calories. I'm sorry, what the hell is that gonna do? Make a hair shed off my ass? Which one of these three stooges drew this up on the whiteboard and thought this was revolutionary? It doesn't only stop there, they try to dunk on Lunchables more for just the dumbest reasons, like their packaging. But truth be told, they just made themselves look like glue-chucking Neanderthals in the process. First off, we have Lunchly's flavorful combos versus Lunchables standard picks. Yeah, what an endless spiral of combinations y'all have here when you stole every single meal idea and replaced it with your Tutti Frutti Gatorade. But we can't forget Lunchly's bold packaging that is out of this world compared to the bland, boring brands, because that's what we should be focusing on instead of the actual food. And just when you thought your eyes would be sealed shut from cringing so hard, it gets even worse. A standout feature from Lunchly apparently is their big gestures, while the leading brand just only has mid-moments. What the fuck does that even mean? What is a big gesture? More diabetes? This has to be why Chinese people look at Americans so weird when they get Mandarin tattoos. The whole time what you thought was meaningful turns out to be some gibberish broken English like this shit. That absolutely hurt to listen to. Luckily, I know something that doesn't. I have been loving listening to my music and podcasts with Raycon's everyday earbuds. If you have been considering on buying yourself a pair, now is the best time because Raycon released their updated earbuds, which include brand new features providing your ears comfort while wearing them. Some new features include multi-point connectivity that lets you pair with 2 devices at once, and their whopping 32 hours of battery life. Many more likable features about Raycon, but my favorites are the new quick charge function, allowing over 90 minutes of battery life for only 10 minutes of charging, and that always helps accompany me whenever I edit videos or to watch any video on YouTube and not worry about them dying on me. Another one is their ergonomic design to comfortably fit the widest range of ears, plus optimized gel tips to find your perfect custom fit. Raycon doesn't only have the personality, they got the looks to back it up too, coming in a multitude of designs to find your perfect match, whether it be blush violet, royal blue, or a simple carbon black. And I haven't even covered the styles of their protective cases to keep your earbuds safe if you accidentally drop them. So if you're interested in buying a pair of Raycon's everyday earbuds to fit your every use, make sure to click the link in the description box below or go to buyraycon.com/BriZ to get 20 to 50% off site-wide. Alright, now let's get back into the video. For the release, all the guys came out with a public statement about how they wanted this brand to impact the next generations of kids and change lunchtime forever. No, I wish I wasn't making this up. They want every cafeteria table to look like a Sheen factory with their boxes all over the table. Logan Paul even added his own input, and honestly, after reading, I really do feel heavily gestured to walk into a Japanese forest with a rope. Lastly, KSI said something more artificial than the food he's selling, but he's the main topic of this video, and for good reason, because I think he embarrassed himself the most. After this product dislike was released, it was obviously faced with major backlash from huge creators to everyday people alike. One of the creators being the founding father of YouTube, DanTDM. He awoke out of his eternal slumber to even say something, because that's how much of a soulless cash grab Lunchly obviously was. They want you to get fat while their pockets get fatter. All they did was scrape a sugar cube off and called it a better choice when both options are just straight up cheeks for you. So Dan started this 1,000-year war off by saying, what happened to the YouTubers, man? I cannot say anything anymore. This is selling stuff for the sake of making money. Simple. How does this benefit their fans? This is selling crap to kids who don't know better than to trust the people who are selling it to them. Do better. Not really too much else to say when he said what majority of the people were thinking, but this is where the main antagonist, KSI, finally enters the picture. Logan and Jimmy were pretty quiet after Lunchly's launch. You know, they might have responded to a couple claims. Post-editing, it turns out Logan Paul also made a response video pretty much sucking the skin right off of KSI's meat. I'm sure the aftermath looked like a caterpillar shedding from its cocoon. KSI, on the other hand, started to go on a feral rampage on Twitter and honestly had by far the worst response out of all of them, causing his videos to be double with dislikes over likes. KSI replied directly to Dan himself with a picture of his toys and figures, calling it crap, when he sells the exact same type of figures from the exact same company. So already off to just a glue gulping start, thinking junk food and collectible item are somehow comparable. Just a very stupid argument to even try to make, because a few little minifigures isn't going to impact a kid's health. Your horrible food options you're marketing towards them gladly will. And KSI decided to double down on his stupidity by making a follow-up about how Dan sponsored a candy company in a video to his young audience, so he's the next Willy Wonka. Now there's a lot of things to unpack here that make KSI look flat out mentally challenged. A great start would be the video from Dan he tried to use as a giant gotcha moment. Even with that video being 9 years ago, the actual candy shown in it was only a one-time sponsor deal. You know what, since we're relishing on old times, let's see what your business partner Logan was up to 9 years ago. Oh, that's right. I don't know about you, but I feel like taking up on a sponsor once has significantly less involvement than being the owner of the company that's actively lying about how their mystery meat they scrape off the side of an Arby's dumpster is healthy for the youth. Dan in that video didn't say one thing about candy or processed junk being healthy, because the concept of it is just redundant. To start making healthier food, you should try starting with real fucking food. Hell, I'm sure if Chris was still in the picture, they would have their own edition of Tyson Nuggets where instead of dinos, every piece is just hentai. Logan Paul also responded trying to sound like he deserves a Nobel Peace Prize for making a shitty turkey stack for big backs out there. I want everybody to keep in mind, Dan only said this one tweet. He's been radio silent ever since. It's like Dan struck the fear of God into him, because all this man said was one sentence and now KSI won't stop talking. He just has Dan's face playing in IMAX on his projector of a forehead day in and day out over a single statement. It's kind of pathetic how KSI, the supposed fearless fighter in the ring, is so hurt over a Minecraft YouTuber. But KSI would let us know how much he wants TDM to touch his BBC by releasing a whole ass response video the following day, playing the victim by titling it "Everybody Hates Us Right Now." And the only thing he really ever showed throughout the response is why he should be administrated to Arkham Asylum, because every time he was met with criticism, he would maniacally laugh for 30 seconds straight, I'm guessing as a way for himself to not start bursting out into tears. Furthermore, he definitely didn't do himself any favors by releasing this either, because the reception for this video is actually terrible, ghastly even. Right now it's being tripled out in dislikes, having over 200,000 thumbs down to the 70k he has up. So without any more blabbering, let's see what he could have possibly said to cause this much of an uproar.
Oh man, today we're doing a Reddit video.
We're not even 10 seconds into the video and this guy has done more fake laughs than the entire Jimmy Fallon show. The dude opened the video up with a counterfeit chuckle and proceeded to say he was going on Reddit and laughed for 5 seconds more. Either this man is the worst actor of all time or a genuine psychopath. I wish I was exaggerating about it, but I'm not at all. Here's a compilation of just this video where he giggles like the Joker. Wonder how much he sighs in between every camera cut.
Without further ado, Lunchly, ladies and gentlemen. Me, MrBeast, and Logan Paul have launched Lunchly. If you've had Lunchables, this is mainly for my American audience. If you had Lunchables, yeah, I guess they were good at the time. well, we've made something better. If you don't believe me, try it out for yourself. Let me know what you think.
Or I could lick toilet water and get the same result. I'm just saying, if you wanted to make something better, start competition with yogurt companies. Load them bitches up with protein and probiotics. Hell, popcorn. You know, snacks that can actually be categorized as somewhat healthy and not look like something that's already been digested. You can say it's better all you want. I would rather eat fermented shark flesh than even a crumb off your cracker.
Nah, JJ's cooked, bro. And then there's a tweet from Jacksepticeye. You mess with DanTDM, you mess with YouTube. I mean, that's cringe.
KSI, you put mid-moments on your food packaging. You are the last person to ever call something else cringe. You work with Logan Paul and MrBeast, both untrustworthy people that have been caught scamming their audience, and that's pretty cringe too. You know, I just find it weird how you get so defensive when actual good YouTubers with a clean reputation call your half-ass ripoff a half-ass ripoff. I think even if a 5-year-old served Gordon Ramsay this on MasterChef Jr., he would slap a pan across his face. This just looks like the Great Depression colorized. So why are you even surprised this is the feedback you got when you feed them crabby old Monday-ass sandwiches?
DanTDM response to JJ and Logan's new announcement. There we go. Here's the context we need. So, obviously released Launchly, and DanTDM replied. This is what he had to say.
What happened to YouTubers, man? I can't not say anything anymore. This is selling stuff for the sake of making money. Simple. How does this benefit their fans? This is selling crap to kids who don't know better than to trust the people who are selling it to them. Do better! Do better!
Oh, why are you f***ing here, man? You're so old. Where's your wife? Go home to your family, dude.
Anytime somebody actually makes a good point against you, you just start to mimic them in a childish voice. And it's not even an argument at this point. This man is going on a tangent for over a week over one tweet just yelling at a brick dick. There's no way you sat here, edited yourself having a psychotic breakdown, and then posted it to show how you're not affected. It's so obvious you're in your feelings about the hate, because if you weren't, this video wouldn't exist. Y'all got your whole team squad wiped by a Minecraft Let's Player. Just hang up the cleats and give the act up.
DanTDM came through with his tweet, so I was like, alright, I gotta reply to this. So this is what I said. Looks like crap to me, while showing his toys that he sold to kids. How does this benefit your fans, Dan? Now, obviously, people didn't realize that I was shining a mirror in his face. Instead, they were like,
wait, you did the same as Dan. You made toys with Tube Heroes.
And yes, that's fair. But I'm not the one complaining. But I'm not the one complaining.
But I'm not the one complaining.
But you said before that you can handle criticism. Everything being shown so far makes it seem like you would start crying if a butterfly flew past you. The only thing you have been doing for the past 2 weeks is bitching, moaning, and whining that your ripoff isn't being praised more than The Great Gatsby. I feel like I lightly brushed over the actual ingredients and horrible shit they actually put into this lard of a lunch, and since I don't know one luck about fuck when it comes to a healthy diet, my high metabolism is the only thing that's kept me from ever seeing Dr. Now. So I'm going to have a licensed professional do that instead, being the great Dr. Mike, explain why this is the food equivalent of quitting crack to pursue fen.
Since myself, using the nutrition facts from the Lunchables and Lunchly websites, and it's honestly really hard to draw perfectly clear conclusions for several reasons. One, I don't have nutrition facts for each part of the kits. For example, how many calories come from Feastables versus the food component. Second, some of the portion sizes aren't the same. The turkey cracker kit from Lunchables is 82 grams, while Lunchly's is 72 grams. 3, there are so many varieties of Lunchables that just swapping out the flavor of Capri Sun caused significant differences in sugar and calorie content. What I was able to conclude is that Lunchly has less sugar and therefore less calories than Lunchables in comparable kits. That's probably due to the drink component of the kit, as Capri Sun uses sugar and Prime is artificially sweetened. Lunchly has significantly more potassium than Lunchables because of the Prime drink, which I guess is good, but not something I'd regularly use in deciding if a food is an ideal lunch for a kid. Lunchly has slightly less sodium and saturated fat than comparable Lunchables. That's definitely moving in the right direction, however, both differences were fairly small. Lunchly does use real cheese as opposed to cheese product, signaling that at least one ingredient is less processed than in Lunchables, but the entirety of the kit is still considered an ultra-processed meal. Lunchly has higher amounts of A and B vitamins, which can be good, but also can be problematic as vitamin vitamin A is a fat-soluble vitamin, and kids can easily overconsume it, leading to toxicity. Being that it's fat-soluble means that you can't just urinate excess out. This has actually been raised as an issue by experts with Prime in general.
The comparisons they use are almost laughable. I didn't even notice 80 calories wasn't the smallest difference. There's one with only 30, and they're marketing the super low calorie narrative like kids don't need that too. I would play more from the Dr. Mike video, but each clip would literally be like 2 minutes because of how well and sourced his arguments are. So if you're interested in the science behind the food, then go check his video out. But one thing he brought up was the average amounts of calories kids need per meal at lunch was clocking in around 600 to 700. If we take another look at the calories labeled on the box, they got the same ratio as KSI's dislikes. They don't even cross the halfway mark towards the recommended amount. You would have to eat 2, possibly even almost 3 of those to reach the damn bare minimum. And if you did buy that many, you're most likely going to feel ashamed and want to cry. Thankfully, Prime can get those tears to fly right off your face with their sodium content. 3 of those little shot glasses of Prime would almost reach your daily intake, so there's not a happy ending to this shit no matter what lens you try to look at it from. I think even the tiniest bit of self-awareness would make KSI and the others realize they look incredibly ignorant choosing to die on this hill when there's concrete facts proving everything they're saying to be wrong. Anyways, let's get back to KSI fighting other YouTubers because somehow his pride is larger than his supreme leader Snoke of a noggin.
Safe to say he's a hypocrite. But again, they kept moving the goalposts and being like,
Oh, well, Dan only did this once. He's only made a video once about sweeties to his audience, so you're wrong.
I mean, he still did it, but sure. If you just type in DanTDM sweets, there's countless of videos of him eating sweets, promoting sweets to his audience, but cool.
All he's doing in this video is trying food. He's just eating food in front of a camera. Is eating not allowed without it being incorporated? Like at this point, pop a cork in it because your vagina is leaking everywhere. You could at least try to have some integrity. I know you sold it all by working with MrBeast and Logan Paul in the first place, but there's no way you're trying to compare yourself, the proud owner of Shitfire Farms, to somebody that just took a singular deal. They're completely on 2 different ends of the spectrum. Dan is not a manager, an employee, hell, not even a janitor at the company. Like, you're the official owner of it. You have much more leverage and control over what you're selling and telling than a guy all the way overseas that took a one-time deal. You was there writing them ingredients down like a wizard with this scroll. You could have easily spent more time actually caring for the children's health and changed a lot of things to benefit them, which was Dan's argument from the get-go. You keep digging this hole any deeper and you might see lava.
Well, DanTDM doesn't actually own the sweets. Okay? You own Lunchly, so it's not the same.
Okay, cool. Where was the same energy when Ryan Trahan released sweets? Where was the same energy when FaZe Rogue released sweets? Now, I'm not throwing them under the bus because I tried both of their sweets and it's fantastic. I'm not seeing people going crazy towards them on Twitter. You know why? I've realized why. It's because people just hate us. People just hate us. People hate Logan Paul, okay? They hate MrBeast.
One's a prolific scammer, the other hired a minor refiner onto their team, and you just make music. On the real though, CoffeeZilla has brought up evidence of you doing dodgy stuff with crypto in the past. There's even the sideman going on record saying you tried to coach all the other members into joining your scam coin and eventually had to back out because of how dodgy it was.
Has there ever been something that's gone so far down the line and then last minute you've got, this just isn't going to work, we need to sack this? NFTs.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
This was KSI in his KSI crypto era, and we got this big shiny presentation for the Sidemen NFTs, 1 of 10,000. We had this big like deck, and like JJ thought it was the best idea, and then the other guys were like unsure, and I was like, I will not let this happen. So I had to like do a detailed breakdown of every reason why I thought it was a bad idea. So I was like, I want to kill this dead now because I do not want there to be a Sidemen NFT.
Yeah.
I do not ever want to make millions of dollars at the direct expense of fans getting nothing for it.
You can mimic all the arguments and laugh alone in your room all you want. There's not a singular thing you disproved. All you did was play victim for over a week, all because Dan simply lifted his finger. It's literally like the butterfly effect. I really don't even find the food itself to be the main catalyst for this video being made. I think it's just how KSI turned a tiny dent into a gaping crater when it comes to his reputation, and didn't even have to get exposed for it. He just decided to take matters into his own hands and do it himself. But I think that's going to wrap the video up there. Not really too much left to say besides KSI needing therapy. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to slap a like on this vid before your dad slaps you. Subscribe to Hit My Vibe and follow all my socials, links down below, especially my Instagram. I post updates and dumb memes on my story all the time, so check the description to find that. With that being said, I love you all and I'll see you all very soon. I'm gonna head out this bitch.